Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Voices of the Internet. I have been gone the past week. I went to visit my family in Georgia, and it was so nice. Like sometimes you just need that break to go and visit with your family, loved ones, and friends because as I have said in my past videos, the world can get hectic. So it's nice to be able to go back and sort of reconnect with those who are also going through it or with you because it just lets you know that you are not alone. And there is hopefully for you, as there is for me, a support system out there, people that you can rely on and reconnect with when things are a little rough, because these days out here in America and throughout the world, things can be rough. As you saw and might have heard yesterday on the news, all over the news, there was nothing really else prominent that happened except for the fact that our president of the United States declared that he was going to possibly eliminate an entire civilization. I'm sure you have heard about this story, so I'm not going to be too into it too much, but this kind of rhetoric from the leader of the United States, not only for Americans or for the rest of the world, but for Americans who are not even near this area of potential extinction. It's problematic. The rhetoric, the terminology. It's problematic. It's worrying. It creates feelings of uncertainty. It creates feelings of doubt, of mistrust, and it just for everyone that has to deal with this sort of scenario in whatever reality that we are in, we're all under this sort of pressure that it's a pressure stemming from an outside source, and it is having us feeling like we're all pressurized in the cooker, just waiting for something to explode at any given moment. We don't know when it's going to happen. We don't know when the switch is really going to flip, but we are hanging in there in the pressure cooker until pow. But I found myself out the other day, and I'm not one of those. I stay very in tuned and connected with knowing what's going on and what's happening in the world around me. And it's kind of hard to stay away from it when you're on social media and just online in general. But I try and stay involved in knowing what I need to know and not getting too deep into the what ifs, because many of these things we just don't have very much control over. But I found myself listening to another YouTube video, and actually a couple of videos that I've watched have mentioned this in regards to the concept of doomsday prepping. So I was out the other day and I saw a sale on water, and I said, you know what? While there's this buy 2 cases of water, get one free, I'm just going to go and start collecting water, extra water. I usually have enough water to get me through the week. I'll have like a liter, a couple liters in my refrigerator, or a case of water. But I found myself actually buying and starting to collect multiple cases of water. And this is not like I'm freaking out or anything, but I want to be prepared. Say that there's a situation where water is not accessible as it currently is. What are you going to do if you don't have water stocked up in your house somewhere for you to rely on in case you need the very thing that we all need to survive, which is water? So I'm curious, what are you or any of you guys out there sort of doomsday prepping? And when I say that, I mean, are you collecting, buying water or food, canned goods, maybe some cool devices such as like this. I saw one on Instagram that you kind of like it's a straw basically. You can drink through any water source and it cleans it. So if the water is contaminated, now I've never tried this. I don't know how great it works, but I have seen it advertised on Instagram. So I thought it was kind of interesting. I think when I saw it, it had sold out. So I know people are picking this up. But what are you guys doing to doomsday prep? Are you getting anything ready in case of an emergent situation where the economy decides to go berserk and it becomes something like COVID, where all the toilet paper was bought up immediately? Are you stocking up on toilet paper? Because now that I'm talking about it, maybe I should be buying some extra toilet paper also. You do these, you want to do these things incrementally so that you're not spending too much money at once and you don't feel like you're like, buying too many things that you may or may not need to have stocked up. But I will say having water and some canned goods and toilet paper, as you see, if you haven't been stocking up on toilet paper, you might want to. And it's not necessarily because things are going to be so like horrible or like I'm expecting something crazy to happen. I mean, it could, but it's more so as a protective measure in case people think that there's something that's going to happen. So everyone starts running to buy up all the whatever in the stores, and then there's none left, and you're kind of screwed with coulda, woulda, shoulda, bought it sooner if I had thought about it. So this is your reminder to go and get yourself prepared just in case. You might want to buy some extra goodies to have around the house in case society decides to go doomsday shopping in an immediate situation before you get a chance to. So don't miss out on the opportunity to do so while things are while things are generally, can't talk, generally kind of somewhat smooth. But this also just brings me to my next thought. It's like, I wonder what might happen in this society, like after things go berserk. Like if there was some sort of crazy scenario that that led people in America to really go through like another COVID 2.0 style scenario. Like, how are we going to even get through that? I feel like Americans are weird, I don't know who's watching this from another country, but Americans can be so weird. You see all of these videos of our government is clearly has been acting up and doing things that are not in alignment with that of the American people. And you see these same examples happen in other parts of the world, and people are overthrowing their government and starting chaos in the streets, which I'm not starting a riot here, but we've done it before too. America is known for this, but I feel like over time we have just become complacent and just, well, we'll see what happens when we open our eyes tomorrow morning. Let's hope for the best and just keep on going. We're not acting in a way that people might expect when things have been, are how they have been. I feel like something really needs to kind of happen in order for change to be made. America needs to start stepping up, rising up, and maybe taking a little bit more action. If we want change, we're going to need to start taking a bit more action to bring that change about. And I don't really see that we are prepared for a scenario where shit were to hit the fan. But that is America for you. So yeah. But it was just a curious thought. If anyone else is also doomsday prepping. Aside from that, I wanted to bring up a few posts that I found on throughout social media. And this is a lot of these posts were found coming from yesterday when the president made some concerning statements, as I had just mentioned. And here are some of the responses that I found online. I think I'm done. I think I'm ready to be one of those clueless a-holes not paying attention. I'd really rather not repeat yesterday. Just let that nuclear wave hit me straight in my clueless face. Nothing I can do to stop it anyway. Oh no, you have to stay in for the fight. What fight? Walking around every 4 months calling my representatives? Pretty sure the powers that be really don't give a shit if every citizen walks around and calls. Come get me when we're actually ready to be serious. This is why I laughed at the No Kings protests. The did y'all do? Protests are supposed to be disruptive. They're supposed to make society nervous. They're supposed to make the ones we're protesting against nervous. They shouldn't be peaceful. They shouldn't stop. I hate what happened on January 6th, but at least they had the balls to storm and fight. They had lawmakers scared and cowering. Yeah, everything they rioted for was a lie, but they made sure the world heard them. We need to stop being nice. We need to stop letting them control the narrative. We need to fight. We need to bleed. And Trump needs to see Kirk again. Our government is about to commit more war crimes and we are doing nothing. If we march in the streets into the White House and the Capitol and can stop this, we need to show the government that the people have the power. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of people posting, well, if he drops a nuke, he's getting the 25th. Let me hold your hand and tell you this slowly. If Donald Trump drops a nuke on Iran, someone will drop a nuke on Israel in response. This forces Israel to deploy its nukes to its enemies throughout the Middle East, and it will further spiral from there. Within 30 to 45 minutes, there are nukes landing everywhere on the globe. There won't be a 25th because there won't be a USA or world. I'm deleting this app. This whole war thing is absolutely terrifying me, and I'm tired of seeing people say we're heading into a nuclear war. I'm so terrified. If a whole civilization is going to die tonight, do we still have to go to work tomorrow? How is any of this normal? How am I supposed to go about my day? I'm so distracted. I'm making the most money I've ever made, and I live a comfortable lifestyle. I'm not in any major debt or bad situation, no kids or drama, and I'm in good health. But I am depressed in a way that words can't fully explain. It's a persistent feeling I can't shake. Money takes away the bill stress, but it doesn't fix the soul. Some of my happiest times was when I was living in my truck and nowhere to really be. From the outside looking in, one would think that I would be happy and should be grateful for the blessings, but deep down inside, this nagging feeling of something missing ruins the feeling of being content that I was striving for. What the F is that about? LOL. Someone commented, social media started as a tool to connect people far away, but now it's become a tool to escape reality. And then someone replied saying, absolutely not. Social media is and always was a weapon to be used against us. It was created to disrupt society and human behavior. All of these apps weren't made by some dropout college student or in some guy's garage. These were all military technologies. They chose puppets to be these creators, and we all bought it. I had experienced a burnout January 31st and decided to try to delete myself by swallowing a bunch of pills. I just couldn't take it anymore. I got laid off from my job and had to drop out of school, and things kept hitting me left and right. Truth be told, I still have the feelings of emptiness. I feel like a failure. Don't have a family of my own. Don't own a home. People are shite. The economy is extremely expensive AF, and I can't keep up with all of this. 25 here and already tired of this world too, LOL. The endless grind, the 9 to 5, the rat race. I don't see how I'm going to do this shit until I die. We are deploying our daily dopamine reserves on meaningless, pointless things like junk food, music, YouTube, social media, etc. We are designed to labor, build things, and create things. When you go camping, even for a few days, it's like a total reset. I do reenactments, and you spend 3 days away with no technology, and your life feels alive again. Sitting around a campfire late into the night, and you just think about your dreams in life, and you really get excited about getting back to life and work. Seriously, get into something that puts you in nature without tech for a few days. It's 100% worth it. What's crazy is the younger gens, Gen Z and millennials, are burning out way faster than older gens, Gen X and boomers. I think a lot of it is how life has become far more complex in the 21st century. I'm in my 30s now, and the only piece of advice I'm going to offer is that after 22, don't feel like life has to be figured out yet. There's no finish line in life or point where you finally go, I made it. It's a total illusion. Even if you get your career you wanted, let's say you become a doctor or something, there's no feeling that now you're good. It's just constant work and stress until you retire. So, as you've heard, there seems to be this level of anxiety that is stretched out over the entire nation and the entire world. But coming from those who most of these statements have been made by Americans, it is apparent that social media is a huge driving force that is allowing people to stay connected and to know what's going on. But it is also, I think, being too deep into the social media world and landscape, I think can cause really depression in a sense. It can cause these deep feelings of unhappiness, even when, as this user said, even with all of the money and having a better career and no kids, a better life, a seemingly perfect life that people strive for, many people strive for, even with those things, I keep coming across similar statements such as this, where people are still not happy. They're still lacking something. And I know that much of this can come from someone's interpersonal space and their personal world. Things might be going on that they're not talking about on when they make their post. But I noticed this trend of disconnectedness and feeling as if, like, what are we doing here? Like, what is humanity even doing? We're born and we're here, and then, like, for what? And then we die. Like, we're born and then we grow up and then we work our butts off and then we die. But what's the purpose? What's the purpose for all of it? And I think that's what people are really trying to figure out these days, is like, what is the purpose for everything? You have so much happening at one time and so many things going on that it is becoming increasingly difficult for people to understand what their purpose is. And I've seen so many cases of people who have just made tons of money, and just like this guy, made tons of money or might be doing great, and to the rest of the world and to anyone, they might seem like they're doing fantastic, but in their head, something is still missing. Something isn't right. And I've watched a number of YouTube videos lately where people have expressed these feelings and have talked about feeling like there just is something missing, like this core piece, this glue. There's like a piece, the glue is to everything is missing. It just seems like we're just here and everything's all over the place, but nothing is really glued together to make it feel homey or comfortable. Everyone's, all over the map, and situations are all over the map. And it makes it really hard to understand where your place is in life, what your purpose is, why are things happening in the way that they are, and like what's the point of all of it. And that's another reason why I went up, and I'm so happy to see my family when I get a chance to. As I mentioned in another video, whenever you get a chance to go out and touch the grass, do so. And I mean that literally. I think literally, if you go to your front yard, you touch the grass for a minute and just stand outside barefoot, or you just, sometimes I'll walk out of my house and I won't have any shoes on. I'll just stand there in my yard or on my porch. And it helps me feel at least some sort of grounding when everything else seems like so loose and so like nothing. The one thing that definitely makes me feel grounded is those simple things, stepping outside and touching the grass, literally, and in the sense of, I think we have to start allowing for us to continue to have experiences that are going to positively benefit our minds and benefit our spirit. So if you have been at home for like a month, and or maybe you just been working between work and home for the last 6 months, and you haven't left your city, you haven't gone to the beach, you haven't gone to a theme park, you haven't gone walking somewhere, I think doing those little things incrementally can definitely help bring about better views of yourself to yourself. And also it can change your perspective as to how you are viewing your life and the things around you. Um and I know it's not something that's going to immediately be affected by you just stepping outside. I mean, in a way, like doing little things can give you that little bit of, each little thing gives you that little bit of a dopamine hit to your body, like a natural dopamine. Um, but I think that people are so involved with social media that's why I have to step away from it at times and just step away from my phone entirely, because these things are so addicting. These phones are so addicting. There's cases going on right now um, that have to do with social media and how they've made children feel. And these feelings are not just associated with children. I think many adults, we're all on our phones all the time. We're tuned into the madness, and we don't give ourselves a break enough time. Most of the time we have to be on our phones for work or other things, but many times when we have the moment and the opportunity to just put our phones down and to just let our phones be and step away from the chaos, we just don't give ourselves that. It's like we're literally, the glue that we do have in our lives is between our hand and our phone. And I know I'm not the only one in saying that, or in feeling that way. Like we are just stuck on these things. And I found myself, when all of this was going on with the president talking about decimating Iran the other day, and I found myself continuously looking online and looking at social media and at threads. And threads, as I tell you, it's on another level when it comes down to connecting with certain crowds, because you get a lot of people's opinions and thoughts and perspectives off of threads, which can ultimately throw you off, because I find myself seeing so many opinions and thoughts and perspectives on threads that sometimes I feel like those things start to like interject themselves into my own life and into my own space. And it makes me wonder, the world is still going to continue to spin. Bad people are still going to continue to do bad things. And great things are going to continue to happen also. But what if I just take some time and just to not be on my phone for a bit. When you wake up, don't check if you don't have to, maybe some people have to. So obviously this won't apply to you, but if you don't have to check your phone immediately, I did it today actually. I couldn't find my phone. I had left it in my car last night. And so I chose to go to bed and I couldn't find my phone. I didn't realize it was in my car till today. And I couldn't find my phone. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to leave that phone wherever it is. I knew it was somewhere nearby. I'm just going to leave it. And instead of having it plugged in next to me as I'm sleeping, and instead of having it right there for me, ready as soon as I wake up for me to reach over and grab off the charger, I said, I'm just going to let it be wherever it is at, and I'm going to leave it alone. And so that led to me this morning. I woke up and I remembered on my phone somewhere, but I didn't immediately go and start looking for it. I let it be lost for a good portion of the day. Actually, it's 7 o'clock now. And so I'm just now, as in like maybe a couple hours ago, went because I was like, hold on, let me make sure my phone is actually here and I don't leave it somewhere out and about. And it was in my car. And it felt so nice going to sleep and waking up and not having access to my phone and not having the ability to quickly, like, without any thought, going to look to see what the news updates are. Like, it felt so good to do that. And I suggest everyone do that. If you lose your phone, leave it lost. If you don't have to have it, let it be wherever the heck it is. Go about your day. Spend at least a good chunk of your day and your sleeping hours like away from your phone. If you can put your phone and have it charging in another room while you go to sleep, do so. If you can wake up without having your phone right there and you wake up, have yourself some breakfast, water, get hydrated, maybe do something like a couple of tasks, and do it all without having to even think or look for your phone. Like, let your phone be where it's going to be, and do this intentionally if you can. Put your phone somewhere else and just don't let it control your life, because I think that having to experience, I don't think the human brain is supposed to be having this level of interconnected experiences with so many people in so many situations at like all at once. So if you're not feeling too happy with how things are, because I know I'm not, and I know the reality of the situation at hand, I know what's going on, I'm aware, but I also am aware that I need to take breaks from that on a regular basis so that my mental health stays in good order. And I see people talk about how they have this and that and their lives are so good, but there seems to be something that's still missing. And yeah, there is something missing because society as a whole is stepping into a new level of understanding and a new reality, in a sense, that is allowing for information to be seen, allowing situations to be seen for what they truly are, allowing people to be seen for who they truly are. And that can be a bit overwhelming. So don't, in my opinion, what I do for myself, I can't tell you what to do, but I don't want to be so uninvolved that I don't know what's going on, but I don't want to be so overly involved that my entire waking moment and my entire day is based off of what is happening that realistically might not have to do with my like immediate life at that, in that day. And so you have to figure out things that you can do. The world is probably going to get crazier, but you have to figure out ways that you can remove yourself when you have the time to do so. When you're able to do so, just remove yourself from other people's words and remove yourself from the platforms, remove yourself from feeling the grief of so many people that you take on that grief and then it starts to affect you negatively. There's times when it's okay to remove yourself from that. If you're not being directly affected physically in person, take advantage of that and remove yourself when you're able to do so. I don't think that it is healthy to just be so tapped in all the time. You can go online and see people are like talking about feeling empty and depressed, and these same people, I feel like they are so put into these platforms and into the social media space that they feel that way in part because of the negative consequences of social media on the human mind. So I'm not going to go on too much more about that specific topic. Just wanted to bring that up because it was something that I've been thinking about people and reacting to what is going on and how we're reacting and our involvement in what's going on and how that can have negative consequences on us as a society. There's more that I could definitely talk about this point, but I'm going to leave this here for now. And I will be back with you again very soon on Voices of the Internet. Stay off the socials. Good night.